Hey guys, what's up? Unrested here, and it is a beautiful spring morning in Japan, Kobe to be specific, and I was sent some news topics to go ahead and talk on, and the good thing is, the news topics that I was sent was almost all the same topic. A recent published story, and it's in multiple papers. You can go to Japan Times, Japan Today, and I believe a couple other publications online, and it talks about gay marriage certificate approved for Shibuya ward. Now, at first, this sounds like a really great thing. It sounds like we're finally getting equal rights for gay marriage in Japan. But if you read into it a little bit deeper, you find out not so much. And once again, I put this in the category of Shinzo Abe because it was initiated by him again to try and appear as if Japan is more progressive as the 2020 Olympics get here. They're doing a lot of cleanup really fast to try and just brush everything under the rug, as Japan does with social issues, and hurry things along so they can start to get those stadiums built, because that's way more important. Money, money, money. Anyway, let me get into a little bit deeper. And let me also say a big thanks to the people who sent in news clips. Of course, obviously, I'm not going to be able to do every news clip in one day. I'm going to go through them little by little, but I can actually remember some of the people who sent this same one in. I remember Snestastic, the user's name, and an Italian viewer whose YouTube name I do not remember, I'm sorry, also sent this in, and a couple other people who were farther down the list sent the same email, and my brain could only remember about 2 right there. Great job, Scott. Anyway, let's move on to the actual topic. So what this says is, if you read into it a little bit further, it's actually a little bit confusing. It says, Shibuya now approves certificates for gay marriage. And you're like, wow, okay, great. So people can get married in Japan, but I guess what, only Shibuya? And then you read a little bit further and it's like, this is not actually acknowledged by the rest of Japan. Oh, so it's not an actual legal document that's acknowledged from the rest of Japan. And then it says, violators of the certificate will be put up on Shibuya ward's website. So pretty much any business or anything located within Shibuya ward that doesn't approve of LGBT rights will be listed on Shibuya ward's website for businesses in the area, which I mean that's good. That's good. We shouldn't, obviously we should always try to boycott places that are not progressive enough to not understand LGBT rights. But at the same time, that's doing little to nothing. Big deal, How many people go and check that website? You think people are hanging out on the ward's website? Imagine the world's most boring, uninteresting, least visited website ever, and that would be Shibuya ward's website. I don't know if you've ever seen what a lot of websites look like in Japan. I think you probably imagine that they're futuristic and technology in Japan is far advanced than anything in the Western countries, but you'd find that most of them look like they're from 1995. Like spinning GIFs and stuff like that. Looping animations and stuff like that. It's bad. It's bad. Especially like the ward sites, because they're often just like updated and run by people who have little to no passion for website stuff in general, because that's why they're working at the government office. Not that there's anything wrong with government jobs. I have many family members who work government jobs back in the States. Anyway, I'm moving on. It's still just a certificate that just says, hey, I'm Shinzo Abe and I'm okay with gay marriage, which is great. Okay, yes, you're a prime minister who's okay with gay marriage. Welcome to the year 2015. That's great to hear you're on board with us there. But just that piece of paper is pretty much just like you writing okay on a piece of paper and handing it over to couples that actually for real want to have a contractual marriage that allows them to receive the actual benefits of being married in Japan. For example, health insurance. If you work for a company and they have a private insurance, that private insurance will cover your spouse as well, or if you want to be able to adopt kids and things like that, etc., etc., etc. You understand what I'm getting to, and that certificate does none of that. That certificate covers none of that. That certificate doesn't do anything for those rights. That certificate is literally just a piece of paper that says, hey, I'm Shinzo Abe, and I'm okay with gay marriage in Shibuya ward only. Again, please remember, if you read deep into that article and you check how legit that certificate is, it says it is only recognized within Shibuya Ward. So, and it isn't even a contractual agreement that says the ward will make the marriage a legal thing, or couples married in there that only stay within that ward are considered legally married. It's none of that. It's just literally a piece of paper that says Shinzo Abe says okay. So again, another, how would you say, another parade of false sentiment for progressive social culture and stuff like that. You know, just another false sense of like, look how progressive we want to be. We want to welcome everybody. Okay, great. You know what? You did a lot better than Russia. You know, Russia's still really medieval with how they handle LGBT. And how they handled some of that stuff with the Sochi Olympics was just fucking, I mean, let's be honest, it was archaic to say the least. I'm glad to see Japan doing this, but there's some aspects of Japan I really like. For example, in general, if you talk to the average, I don't know, I'd say 40-year-old or younger in Japan, what do they think of gay marriage? What do they think of LGBT? They would say, honestly, don't care either way. It doesn't bother me. Why should I even worry about it? You'd ask, do you think they should get married? They should be able to get married. It should be legal. They would say, yep. Why would I even worry about it? Of course they can get married. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't do anything, you know, to my life. Why would I care? If you asked the older generation, the often xenophobic older people who've never left the country, are not quite as progressive, very conservative, only watched NHK every day of their life, they would tell you crazy stuff. Like, they'd be like, well, there's no such thing as gay people in Japan. I've literally heard old people tell me stuff like this. They'd be like, well, what do you mean? And I remember I asked one old lady about this one time. She's one of my oldest students. Like, she was, I think, 87 years old. And it was actually a topic that was brought up in the book. It was like this progressive kind of English textbook that we used in class. And I said, you know, what is your thoughts on gay marriage and stuff? And she's like, well, in Japan, we really don't worry about that because there's no gay people in Japan. And I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? And she's like, well, you see, I've been to the grocery store before, and I've never seen two boys there holding hands. And I was just like, oh, so that's where we are. Okay, that's where we are. We're in La La Land. First of all, I don't know quite what she imagined. I guess, first of all, I think she only thought gay meant man and man. I guess she thought most gay couples would walk around with a neon sign floating above them that says, we are a gay couple, that they constantly need to hold hands. I don't know, just like many things assumed. They only shop at the grocery store, by the way, too. So, I mean, it's not even, it's not even a point of reality for a lot of the older people, the older generation here. It's not something that was brought up very much in the past, so I guess it's hard for them to even imagine it in their head, if that even sounds feasible. And even me saying that now, I'm like, really? Can someone not imagine it? But yeah, that's what you would get with the older generation. A lot of the older generation would either, number one, refuse to say it exists. Some tend to say they're like, oh, well, that's just a fetish kids have when they're younger and they grow out of it. No. You don't really have any like overly conservative religious-based beliefs in Japan, because for the most part, even Buddhism, if you were against any sort of person's marriage or love life, Buddhism would not be for that, because Buddhism is just about, look, worry about correcting yourself first, you asshole. That's the best way I can put Buddhism. And don't worry about other people's, you know, likes, wants, desires, hates, needs, faults, whatever. Worry about yourself first. And when you're totally improved, and if someone comes to you for you to be their senpai, then you can think about helping them improve. But it's not your place to judge anyone. So I kind of like that aspect of Japan. That's good. I think it's good that we see a lot of gay, lesbian, transgender stars and talent and idols on TV. But at the same time, I don't like the fact that oftentimes these people are paraded around in a sense of they are only entertainment. That, oh, this is this wacky transgender person, whereas no, that's their life. That's seriously who they are. Like, we're not watching them for some sort of sick entertainment or parading them around as some sort of dancing bear. But often gaijin go through a lot of the same stuff as, oh, look at this guy's got blue eyes, this guy's got blonde hair, it's crazy. And I know I don't like feeling like that, so I can understand where transgender in the LGBT community would not want to feel like that. And so that's one aspect of Japanese TV I don't like, is when they use not only these stars and talent to parade them in this sense, but also they'll sometimes choose the most quote-unquote fabulous gays and lesbians in order to kind of parade them around as well, and they go with it too, which I guess, more power to them. If someone's gonna stare, point, and watch, give them a fucking show, as Akasan says, another J-vlogger I know. He says, because he has dreadlocks that are dyed red, and he said people want to look, touch, and act like you're a show, and he said, well, then give them a fucking show and make them pay to come to the show, which, it's a pretty good sentiment. I have to agree with him on that aspect, and I have a feeling that's a lot of the feeling that a lot of these LGBT stars, talents, and idols also feel. They're like, well, you know what? If I'm gonna be there for their amusement, I'm gonna get paid for the fucking amusement, which it makes sense. It makes sense. More power to them in that sense. Anyway, those are just my thoughts on that article today. Guys, continue to send these articles. This is awesome. It's really fun for me to analyze these. It's really fun for me to give you my own, I guess I should say, just personal opinion. I'm not backing this up with years of research. I'm literally backing up with what I've observed from living in Japan for 9 years. Take it for what you will. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt, as I am no expert, nor do I have any certificate that qualifies me to be so. That being said, one of my best phrases ever, that being said, I want to just give a quick shout out. Guys, if you didn't see already, Hanami Party, 2015 Hanami Party, Osaka-jo Koen, April 15th. Sorry, not 15th, April 11th. Oh my god, April 11th. Let me say that again, April 11th. April, Juichi, 11th. Okay, this is not April Fool's. In Japan, it's April 2nd right now, so it can't be April Fool's, okay? April 11th. Go check it out on Facebook. Do a search for Osaka YouTube Hanami Party 2015 or some combination thereof. It will get you to the party. Click as you are going, and even if you're thinking about it, click maybe. And, come along, join us. If you saw this video, you're invited. If you heard anything about the party, you're invited. You don't need to have a YouTube channel. You don't need to be associated with YouTube. And also, watch for today, sometime tonight, Japan time, that is, you should be seeing, if everything goes right and everybody turns their videos in on time, Lex, Rising Gaijin, will have up our official Hanami Party 2015 YouTube promotion video, and it is going to be quite a video. I think you're going to enjoy it. Anyway, until next time, I am Unrested. If you like what you saw here today, like, comment, and subscribe, and don't be afraid to send in a Japanese news article you too want to learn more about. Have a good one.